I don't have my phone near me to be able to say we're live. I'm failing you already. I'm so sorry.
Separate window and it's just taking a second, so I'll give it a second because it says we're live on our end.
Yeah, normally we are.
It's not showing up on YouTube's end, so
Let me check my phone. Hang tight, please. One moment.
No problem. I can't tell. Sorry if you're seeing this and you're like, what's happening?
No, it says we're live. We are live.
Yay, we are live. Sorry for the technical difficulties of today, but we are live to start the first of what I hope to make a series on my channel. My love of reading comes from mostly classics. I know that sounds pretentious. I was a very weird 8-year-old. I was reading Pride and Prejudice at 8. I was a very strange child. But as I'm getting older, I would love to reread them. It's been a very long time since I've reread them. I think the last time I fully reread all 6 of her novels, I was in college because it was my capstone paper for college.
Oh.
That was I'm scared to say it'll be 10 years this year. Holy crap. But I want to do a project where we talk about, and I want to recommend, the main thing that brought this on was my friend Bonnie from Books with Bonnie. She'll be linked down below. If you don't follow her, you should. She recommended it to me during one of our brainstorming meetings because I'm such a classics lover that I should do like a ranking of where I think you should start with Jane Austen. So Jane Austen will be the first, but I'm going to make it a whole series where we discuss an author or a book in detail. And the main reason Jen is with me is you've read Pride and Prejudice, right? I think.
Yes. Yes, I did. I had to do it for an In Real Life book club because then we immediately followed it with the BBC's version and Colin Firth. And I was like, glorious. I loved it.
The superior version, even though I like both. It's still the superior version. Since Jen has not read all of Jane Austen's work,
we'll see how many I get through.
Yes, that's why we're starting with the short one. But before we get into like recommendations, our first deep dive discussion will be on Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I know that sounds weird because this one was published after. I'm sorry, the glare from the window's not helping. This was the last book that was published. It was published after she passed away. But chronologically, it was the first she wrote. She wrote this when she was 17.
I've done nothing in my life.
I know, right? Like, it's insane. But the main reason I think it'll be a good start for Jen to not scare Jen, because classics aren't scary. Some are written very pretentiously. I won't deny that, but they're not scary. I promise. Because this is her writing is just funny. She writes very humorous, funny. And this girl basically, Kathy Morland, or Catherine, thinks she's living out the novel she's reading. So she's very overdramatic, funny, ridiculous. It's just, she's definitely 17, but she's not, what's the right word? She's not grating. Like, she doesn't, you're like, oh my God, just grow up. Like, you understand why she's like this, because she's very sheltered. She's the oldest of, I think, 8 children.
8 children? I mean, I guess that was common.
Back then, that was kind of normal. But, yeah, so you see why she is how she is. Like, there are moments where she gets on your nerves, but we're going to, I think, shoot for this in April or May?
So. I think it was mid-April. We haven't officially picked a date, but mid-April.
Mid-April. So, but I recommend this if you're like more the thriller. If you pick up a thriller when you're in the bookstore, this is the one I recommend because there are thrilling aspects of it. And it's not a spoiler to say AGAs on all of her books because Happily Ever After is just what she does very well.
Nice.
I'm gonna skip this one for now.
For now.
For now. This is my second favorite, and this is technically, I might be boring you, but I'm in the middle of taking a Jane Austen class, so I'm learning a lot of like things I didn't even know as someone who's read her work.
How did you not tell me this? How did I not know?
So even though this was like one of the first or second one, or second or third book she wrote, this was the first one that was published.
Okay. And what was the title?
Sense and Sensibility.
Sense and Sensibility. Okay. I was like, I thought that was with it, but I'm like, oh,
yeah,
maybe I don't
these
know.
covers are beat up. These are the original. These are my original copies my mom bought me when I was like 12.
Oh, that's fun though.
Yeah, they're beat up, but I'll never get rid of them because that was my Christmas gift one year, was the whole whole physical Jane Austen written work. And then the other part of the gift was, it shows how old these are or how old they are for me, was my mom bought them for me on CD-ROM, so I can listen to the audiobook. I'm aging myself. But I think this one, if you're really into like literary fiction, this is your jam.
Okay.
Completely your jam. Because even though there is an HEA at the end, HEA at the end, it's mainly about the two sisters, Marianne and Eleanor, and how they're very different, but they want the best for each other. And it's so dramatic and juicy, and like if you like drama in your books, Jane Austen, the best. But it's believable juicy. It's just not like soap opera juicy. It's just good, like fun ridiculousness, but there's also very poignant moments as well, like where you actually feel for the characters.
Okay.
So this is technically my second favorite.
Oh.
Second favorite.
Is Northanger Abbey your first, or is that Pride and Prejudice and I'm just now being crazy?
No, technically. Where is it? Where'd it go?
I feel like you've told me before, and now I'm just like, my brain is not working.
No, you're fine. It's Persuasion is my favorite.
That's right. As soon as you said it, I was like, damn it, I knew that answer.
Persuasion is my favorite. The best way to describe this is, what if you could go back and not go back in time, but like you made a mistake when you were really young and you harbor that mistake, even though you thought you made the right choice at the time. 8 years later, second chance romance. This was, I believe this was the first second chance romance book written.
Okay.
I think.
I believe it.
It wasn't, and believe it or not, this wasn't my favorite when I first read it. But as I've gotten older, this has become my favorite.
Become your favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's also very short, and it's so good.
Those books look a lot thicker than the one that I have on my shelf that's like itty bitty, but I'm wondering if maybe like that's like mass market paperback size. Maybe mine's like a paperback size.
Because these are like paperback size, and the type is kind of small, but this is about before the foreword and stuff. 230 pages before like the afterword and all that.
Okay.
Speaking of mess, you want to get in some juicy mess that is ridiculous, but so much fun because you're like, how is this happening? Mansfield Park. The drama in this one. This is like peak drama. So again, if you like dramatic, oh my God, did that just really happen? This is where you should start. I highly yeah. So dramatic. Her and I know people don't like this because, spoiler alert, she ends up marrying her cousin.
Yeah, okay.
But
I mean, back in that time.
I get it, but that was very normal back then.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get why people don't want to read it, but it was very normal back then.
I mean, that was common. That was very common back then.
Yes. It's just so much drama because she's technically her uncle's ward. Like they took her in, but they treat her like she works for them, basically. They don't treat her like
type thing.
An actual daughter. And it's just so, like, she openly writes about, like, cheating in this. And back then, this was published. This is technically the third book that she published. I think this was published in 18. Let me check. My copy was published, blah, 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 blah. My copy came out in 2004.
What? She's still alive?
This was published 1814.
1814. Okay.
1814. So.
Just a little bit ago.
Yeah. But it's so interesting how, like, you can pick things up on a reread. Like, I read them when I was 8, 9, 10, and then I read them again for college. And you pick up so much more as you age. Because, like, you think of things very differently.
Oh, yeah. What meant one thing when you were one age means something entirely different.
Yeah, you're like, this is boring. And for Persuasion specifically, they talk about how Anne Elliot, who's the heroine of the book, they talk about how she's lost her bloom because she's 27 and unmarried. It's just,
I'd be a spinster for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so, but back then that was normal. It's just so, like, and there's just, like, it's so good, and I can't wait for you to read it. It's okay. I won't be mad if you don't like it, but it is my favorite book of all time. And this was technically the first one I read, and most people might know this one.
Is it Emma?
Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, Pride and Prejudice. Okay, I was like, I know that Emma's one of hers too, and you haven't mentioned that one yet.
Yeah. Pride and Prejudice was the first one I read. I was 8, and I listened to it at the library. They were playing it at the library, and I just fell in love with it. And this was one of the first. I don't want to say, like, haters to, like,
enemies to lovers.
Yeah, enemies to lovers. Like, this is more antagonistic to lovers.
Okay.
Like, they just both come from different, even though they're technically of the same class, they come from different backgrounds. And it's kind of, most people say it's like one character has to deal with their pride or get over their pride, and then other character has to get over their prejudice of that person. But it's much more than that. Like, it's like with Sense and Sensibility. Like, yes, they find love and everything, but, like, to me, it's more about the sister bond and how we change as we get older, and we realize things we did when we were younger weren't the best things, but we thought we were doing the best thing at the time.
Right.
And the main reason I'm showing this one last, believe it or not, this was my least favorite when I read it the first time.
Oh.
I didn't hate it, but, like, this was my least favorite. And this is the chunkiest.
That would be my least favorite then too. I think I actually have read Sense and Sensibility, but I honestly couldn't tell you anything about it.
Sense and Sensibility.
I remember because of the movie. And
the Sense and Sensibility adaptation is amazing. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, okay.
But, like,
sometimes having it acted out is better, but also,
yes,
like, you still want to read. You got to read the book first, and then the show.
I feel like with classics, you can do either or, because it doesn't affect the ending for me, at least for me.
And they weren't trying to take their own interpretation on them either. At that point, they were pretty literal to the book. So that's
why I prefer, like, the BBC adaptations. I know I sound like such a snob when I say that, but I do prefer the BBC.
Do it because it's absolutely true.
But those are the Jane Austen ones, and I would love to go into, like, more, like, if this does become a series, like, I want to do, like, one of them be Don Quixote, because I recommended that to a friend of mine. Phantom of the Opera, like, I want to do that in, like, October, because
Makes sense. Yeah.
Like, I want to make this, and it's just so interesting to me how people think that you liking classics is pretension.
Those people can go sit on a cactus. For me, classics are always really hard because there's always so much woven into it, and I've gotten to a point in my reading life where I'm just like, just tell me what you want. Don't make me infer from
Hi,
this
Epic.
passage
Thanks for coming.
what you want. Just tell me. I just
Yeah.
want you to tell me so that I can enjoy it. Don't leave an open ended. You better have an ending. I swear to God, if one of them's left open so that you can make your own journey for them. No, tell me how it ends.
None of them are open ended, but they do leave it open enough that you're like, oh, I wonder how they're doing 10 years later.
See, I can do that.
Not like that it's bad, but they like all end with a happily ever after of some sort.
As long as, so I just finished a book recently. Alicia, I know you're gonna hate it, so I'm super sorry. But Sarah J. Maas's
I know, I love that you love it.
I loved that last book. I think it was my favorite in the series. I know that you have a friend that was just like, maybe it was the second one they were renting.
Yeah, they gave the second one 2 stars and the first one like 3. Or the
Why would you continue if you give something 3 stars? Just let it go at that point. There's too many other good things.
For punishment, apparently.
Maybe. I mean, at this point, might as well finish out the trilogy. But I loved that. I mean, there were a lot of storylines. 1 or 2 of them were left open, which leads me to believe that she's going to do some sort of spin-off, which is common for that.
Her.
Yeah. But for pretty much everything else, like the main people, like it was all very well wrapped up and happily ever after. Like it ends on a positive note. You know, they have a lot of life. So I kind of get what you're saying. It makes me think of that, where it's just like you have their like solid conclusion for
like I wouldn't be opposed if there was like, if they secretly find like Jane Austen wrote like little novellas in between, like to see where they are 10, 20 years. That didn't happen, but I would love to. I would love to see it. But yeah.
No, so yeah.
I honestly think Jane Austen made me fall in love with romance.
Oh, okay.
Like as a genre. Because I didn't know, this is gonna sound so dumb because I was a teenager. I didn't think of Jane Austen as romance because in the grand scheme of things in the bookstore, it's not put in the romance section.
No. Classics.
Like this one, if you want to go down the tropes, age gap. And family friend.
Okay.
Enemies to lover, antagonistic to lovers. What I don't know how to describe this. Gothic romance?
Oh, okay.
But with a happy ending? Trope wise, what would this be? For one sister, it's getting with the sibling of another sister, like of another friend, family friend, and then
like
the other sister basically gets her heart broken. Spoiler. But then she learns that like she should have been more reserved.
Okay.
But they like, that's why I like it as sense and sensibility. Like they're not all just one thing. Like they grow into a mix of both for both of the characters. And the working title for this was Eleanor and Marianne, which is the name of the sisters.
Okay.
And this one, before it was published, Pride and Prejudice was called First Impressions.
No.
Could
you imagine had that been the name like that we all grew up with? First Impressions. No. Whoever told her to change that, whether that was her or a publicist or anything, excellent job.
And this one, what trope would it be? like being in love with someone since you were a child and them just realizing it. I don't know what trope that's considered.
I'm trying to think too. I'm really bad with tropes. Don't ask me.
Yeah. I try to give some tropes because I know that's how a lot of people shop for books.
True. Give me triggers so that I know whether or not I need to start. I picked out a book because I loved the cover, and then all of a sudden, like I started like paging through it a little bit, and within the first one, they were like, "If you are like sensitive to any of these," and they listed like 30 things. I was just like,
"Was it Butcher and Blackbird?"
No,
because that one, like, I don't get triggered by a lot, but I had to put that one down.
It was What Lies Beneath.
Who's that by?
Oh no, sorry. What Lies? Maybe it's Beneath the Veil. Hold on. This I might be able to reach if I stretch. I got long fingers.
You've got long. You definitely have longer arms than I do.
Yeah, What Lies Beyond the Veil.
I like that cover though.
I know. And then you know what got me? Because I saw the second one. They had 2 of them, and I was just like, "Oh, 1 and 2, perfect! Look, this is cool too."
I love the color.
Love the colors. I love the freaking snake going in here. I'm like, "Ooh, it's so pretty." Here we go. Let's see. Oh, also, like I did open it a little bit, and I'm like, "That's fun." Hold on. Yeah, okay, maybe 30 was aggressive. But it's like, here's a huge thing of trigger content warnings, and then they're like verbal and physical abuse. Not the male lead, thank God. References to grooming behavior and assault of a minor by an authority figure. I was like, no, thank you. Again, not the male lead. Ritualistic sacrifice.
Oh, it's actually written that it says not the male lead?
Yeah.
Wow.
Graphic violence and graphic sexual content. And I'm like, as long as the graphic sexual content is not rape, I think I'll be okay. I think it was the second book that I opened up that had a few more that were like, oh. But again, look, they got like pretty pictures.
They're so pretty. But I'm being good. I haven't bought anything.
Oh, this was a while ago. I just haven't read them because the trigger warning scared me. Although now that I'm looking at it again, I'm less terrified. So maybe I over exaggerated.
Well, look at it this way. Remember, you were really nervous because of the trigger warning list in A Dowry of Blood, and it wasn't that bad.
That is true. A Dowry of Blood had maybe that's one.
They had 2 pages. I was like, geez.
And I think because some of them give you trigger warnings, it prepares you for it. So I'm hoping that like I'm overhyping myself, and I'll just be like, ooh. So yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I have really enjoyed it, and honestly, this is even my whole library. This is mainly just my special editions and then my manga section here.
This big box right here is a bookshelf that will cover 2 walls. I have one that has a corner piece. It'll go right behind my chair.
I saw one of those because I have this corner right here. So I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to have a corner one. But then it felt like it was going to cut stuff off. And I just recently bought a bunch of these. And then like I did mount them to the wall. So if you do decide to do that, I highly recommend like mounting it to the wall to give it extra support.
Oh, absolutely. I will not. I'm a klutz, so I don't trust myself to like not fall and then knock it over and then die by books.
Oh, yeah. And what I have noticed, so I saw this online. If you have, I don't think I have any. I moved them away. But if you have paperbacks, which are actually down here, let me see if I can push down here.
Harlequins.
Yeah. I actually did this thing where you can create, I don't know if you can see it. There's like a little shelf. So then you get like twice as much space. You can technically do that with these hardcovers as long as it's like a small shelf, but then I feel like you're losing most of the title, and that's also why I kind of got rid of so many of my paperbacks, because it's just like they went 3 deep and I just
that's kind of why like when I put together this bookshelf, because I need my stepdad to help me because he has all the tools.
There you go.
And like he needs to mount it to the wall and everything. I'm gonna be getting rid of a ton of books if I don't want them anymore.
Do what?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm just gonna be like, if anybody wants any of these, let me know. If not, I'm taking them to the used bookstore.
Yeah, I'm trying to get better about if I read something and it didn't give me like the feels, to get rid of it.
I'm kind of the same thing. I said to myself, I'm like, if I don't want to reread it, I'm just gonna like either give it to a friend that really wants to read it or donate it or something, because I don't have like, especially with Greg moving in, I'm not gonna have as much room. Yeah, so
Space is so hard. That's the problem. Now,
yes.
I will tell you that I did a bad thing. So I used to have like this giant, like the packing boxes from Home
Mhm.
Depot. It was like the medium or the large size, and I would
Yeah,
just put a bunch of books in there. Let me just tell you, those are heavy. One, two, they're very
they
hard
are.
to figure out what you have in each of them. So recently, what I did was I actually got a ton of like the small ones, which you like put it together and you're like, there's nothing's gonna fit in here.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
They do fit well. You just have to kind of get a little bit Tetrisy with it. Um,
That's the fun part.
and they stack well. So if you ever have to move, they're actually ones that you can pick up, even if you have a bunch of hardbacks in them. And then I
Yeah.
just have those for those of you on Who Picked This Book Club, if you recall, and I don't have it by me right now because I'm an idiot.
You're okay.
For Christmas, I wrote out like the rules
The
of book
book
club.
Mark. I love it.
Yeah, so that little cat post-it note, I use those on the side of it, and I put, okay, here are the
Smart.
authors that are in here, or the books or the series. That way, if I ever have to go look for them, I know
You
what.
know where they are.
And also, it helped me get rid of a lot of stuff because I'm just like, are you worthy to be on this? Like, which box do you belong
I
to?
know. And
Um,
I'm even having a hard time, like, because I'm doing the low buy year and reading what I own. We've talked about this before.
I'm trying to do that, but
I
then
know.
I had signed up for a wait list for Fairy Loot's Romantasy box, and that
Okay.
became available today, and I was in the first wave of people that had the opportunity to sign up for the subscription. So, yes, I did sign up for another one.
How much? They're
But
expensive though, aren't they?
no, with shipping and tax and everything, the book only is like $40.
That's not
But
bad. Basically, that's a cup. That's if you go to Barnes and Noble or whatever. That's the normal price of a hardback nowadays.
exactly, and they all have stenciled edges. Most of them are signed by the
I love
author.
it.
Like, so in my mind, I'm like, okay, $40, yes, is a lot, but by the end of the summer, they're hoping to combine their book only subscription, which is what I have for them.
Yeah,
So it will make that easier for me. And then I just need to decide whether or not I still want the trinkets with bookish box, or if I should try to go down to a book
book only.
only
I wish
subscription.
years
But
ago when I was like signed up to those, they did book only. Like they just started doing it. I'm just
but
like,
here's the thing for me, and sorry to interrupt you,
no, you're
but
fine. Go ahead.
I need you to tell I need someone to help justify the fact
Okay.
that I
I'm
have
the
it.
worst person for you. You know that.
Yeah, so the book only box, like Fairy Loot, is about $40
Yeah.
with shipping and taxes and everything. For the book with goodies, not the t-shirt, because that one is a little bit
Ridiculous.
extra, but you get like 4 or 5 items, is $10 more. So I feel like I get more bang for my buck if I buy
Yeah.
the
But are
goodies.
you actually going to use those things? That's my thing. Is like I have boxes of just the trinkets I got.
Some of them I have. A
Yeah.
lot of them are mugs, which I haven't been able to use, but they've started to get better. I mean, yeah, occasionally they'll put a pin in there or a blanket, and it's like, I can only have so many of these. They have a couple
Well,
crowns,
that's
and
the
you know my
problem.
obsession with
They make
those.
the really small blankets that don't even cover like half your body, and you're just like, this is
Yeah. But recently they gave out like daggers that you can open your mail. What are those called, guys?
envelope opener.
Yeah, and I've been wanting one of those, and so they
Me
had
too.
that. And then the other one, so this not everything, isn't it? But it's a little Kindle bag that you can have, and like it's
That's cute.
really decent quality. It has, I mean, I've never read this book, but whatever. Um,
Like some of the stuff you sent me was the like book sleeve, but it had a zipper on it, which I thought was awesome because I hate when stuff falls out of my bag.
yeah, I mean they do a couple of those, and so after a while, it's like I don't really need any more than
I
that.
have like a shelf of just them. I'm like, I don't know what to do with all these.
Yeah, one of them was this, which you can just kind of put in between your books. It's for the In Ash series, which is one that I read. They do jewelry every now and then, which I'm not a huge fan of, but at the same time, I'm like,
you never know if you're gonna buy it until you buy it.
Yeah.
It's so true.
And that's the thing is, like, a lot of the things I wouldn't necessarily buy for myself, but might be nice. Like this thing, I would never have bought it for myself. I probably never use it. One of these, like, it's really
I love
pretty.
those things. I have like one of the little thumb ones that you smaller than that, but
hold it open.
It's awesome.
But I'm like, I probably won't use it for that, but it's really cool and pretty to look at. I don't necessarily love their like every month trinket. So they have these things called like book bays, which are just
book bays. Are you kidding?
Yeah. And then they have one for the YA, which honestly I could do without all of those. But for things
that's
like
the thing is like I ran out of space to put all the stuff.
Donate it. Honestly, for $10, if you can get one item that you'll use, they put the price of what everything is, like what their estimated value is. So if one of the items that you keep is $10, you've made your money.
Yeah, I just don't like bonus. I don't like when they send things in with that had glass in them because
they're really good about packaging. I will say that. There are sometimes
it drives me crazy.
There are some when they do that where I'm just like, I don't think that's a good idea. But yeah, and then they recently started giving you things that you can actually use. So like with the jewelry, they actually gave you like a little jewelry book that you can use. So then you have a place to store everything.
I know.
So I'm just
talk about persuasion, but you didn't totally miss my gush of persuasion.
True. It's her favorite one. I remember that now.
I actually have there's a letter in this book that I have got a art print of that's hanging on my wall. Love this. Evie's actually got a tattoo of persuasion.
Okay.
So we kind of bonded over our love of Jane Austen.
Very nice.
But if you want to come on, we're planning on doing discussions. If you ever want to come on for one or all of them, let me know.
Like, ooh, you may replace me. I'm going to be honest with you, Alicia. I may only make it through one or two of these. Just not that I just classics are very difficult for Jen. Again, like I was saying, like I just want someone to tell me the story. So I might find enjoyment out of it enough where I'm like, let's keep up with them. And they're shorter.
I can explain it in like a way that makes sense.
And maybe I'll watch it with the movie and I'll be like, you know what, between the two of them, I really had a great experience out of it. So
yeah, I would totally do it. And this is the one book that I wish got better adaptations, but I love the 95 TV. I think it's a BBC adaptation.
It wouldn't surprise me. They do a great job.
It's so good, but it's not 100%, but it's still so good. Evie knows the one that just came out. What was it, like 2002? It was so bad. It had Dakota Johnson in it, and it was so bad. Like,
was that Dakota Johnson or was that the Hannah something like what's her face?
Say that again.
I'm trying to think. No, that was Emma. I'm thinking of something different. Never mind.
Oh, you're thinking of Anya Taylor-Joy, the new one?
Thank you.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm curious.
It wasn't bad, but also when you said it was kind of like weird, I was like, maybe it didn't do justice to the book. And I don't remember it all that well.
My biggest problem is, and it's so like it's specific to me, was okay. The hero in Emma specifically is supposed to be like 37.
Okay.
And the guy who's playing him is like 25. And it's so dumb, but it bothers me. And I'm like, he's supposed to be an older man. Like, that's the point. Like, he's supposed to have known her basically her whole life. That's the point of it.
All right, now I have a question. So this might be how you kind of keep me captivated. I've never heard of Northanger Abbey until you told me about it like 6 months ago. Super sorry about that. Is there an adaptation of it that you would say, is a better adaptation than others? So maybe I could try to look for that and then read the
Yes, there's a BBC adaptation of Northanger Abbey. I'm trying to remember what year it came out.
Okay.
2011, maybe?
When you
And it
find
has
it, text me.
Felicity, what's her name? Felicity, hold on. Worth.
Oh, yeah, that's bad. Sorry, I'm reading the comments. I'm not
No,
getting
you're
ahead.
fine.
But I'm going to ask you that every time. So then I'll either,
Yeah,
what I can do at work. Oh, go
it's
ahead.
2007. Yeah, 2007.
Okay. I'll have to
It's
find it.
BBC.
Hopefully
The
they have.
only one that I disagree with the adaptation because it was bad was the BBC adaptation of Mansfield Park. I didn't like it. But there is another adaptation that isn't as faithful. But
You like it a little bit more.
yeah,
When we get there, I'm gonna do that. I might try to find a way because my library, I'm sure, will have it, and I've got a
we can
DVD
we
there
can
still.
we
So
can like set up a live stream and watch them together. Like not live on, like we can set up one that we don't go live and we can just watch them together. And if you have any questions, yeah,
absolutely,
the one with Anya Taylor-Joy. I haven't seen it yet because I'm not the biggest fan of her.
it wasn't bad, but yeah, I mean, if you're not a big fan of her, she was the lead, so she's in it.
Yeah,
Quite. Was she the lead?
was he really? He looked like such a baby to me when I saw like the snippets. I'm like, he looks like he's like 25, or maybe I'm just getting too old for that. I don't know. But like, even though I do not, okay, even though I don't like Gwyneth Paltrow, I think the 1996 version of Emma was the one I grew up with. So like, I think of the guy who played Jeremy Northam, who played Mr. Knightley in the 97, 96 version. I just think of him as Mr. Knightley. So like, it's hard for me to like picture someone else in my brain.
Okay, question for you. This might be dumb.
No,
When you're searching for the movies, do you just type in Northanger Abbey, or do you like they don't give it different names, right?
in your library system, I would type it in like movie adaptation, or like you could just type in Northanger Abbey adaptation.
Titles. I'm gonna try and first to see if they have it on Hoopla because I need to start using that so that they continue
It's
to
great
offer.
for TV and movies.
Ooh, the one with Felicity Jones. Is this one we were talking about? Is that
Yes.
what we're
Uh-huh.
going for? They have it.
Woo!
Okay, so favorite. I won't borrow it yet. It's only an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't. And it really bothers me because Billie Piper, I love as an actress, but
Mm-hmm.
I did not like that adaptation of Mansfield Park at all.
Masterpiece. Oh my god. I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole if I
No,
stay on here too long. They also have
it might help for you to read the book and then watch the adaptation.
313 pages. That's how long it says this book is.
Yeah.
Alicia, you have explaining to do.
What copy do you have?
No, this one's on the thing. I have a different one. The one that you bought me. It's so
Yeah,
thin.
the one that I bought you was the tinier one.
Yeah, why are there so many differences?
I don't know, because it says my copy is before you get to like the what do you call it? The like end notes and stuff like that. It says 238.
238. That's not bad. Oh, I wonder if they have. I think you made me not made me, but you had recommended that I get the audiobook. Why don't they have the
The
audiobook?
audio really helps when it's like classics for me.
Agreed. Okay, that
Yeah,
looks
it's
really
very
horrifying.
fast.
What is this?
It's
That looks really it's like a comic, but I'm a little
yeah,
bit afraid of it.
that's interesting. That's another thing. I would be curious because I've seen like the manga adaptations, and I really want to check them out.
Let's do it.
It's like less than if you. I know you don't listen on one time speed because neither do I, but like on one time speed, it's like 7 hours.
Oh
Northanger Abbey, so it's not that long.
7 hours is a long time, but when you speed it up.
Mm-hmm. Like, let me look at mine.
Oh, they do. Why are there so many different versions? Why is one 7 hours and one 8?
But the version you just showed with the carriage, I want that version so badly. I can't make it okay in my brain to buy another copy of all of Jane Austen's work. I can't make that okay in my brain. So I haven't bought it, but it's just so pretty.
What's the difference between those two? Besides an
Nothing.
hour. It's an hour.
Nothing.
Northanger Abbey, Jane Austen. One is 8 hours, one is 7. I might have to listen to a sample.
Let me go to my Audible account.
Grates on my ears a little bit more than the other. I wonder if this Duke Classics maybe shortens it a little bit.
Maybe.
Oh, wait, hold on. I showed you the wrong two. Abridged. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, no, don't get an abridged. Get unabridged.
Let's see what it says. Read by... This says unabridged. Includes ebook. Lies. I'll have to do a sample because maybe, I mean, I'm sure with as old as this book is, millions of audiobooks are out there.
Yeah. My it says my audio copy is 6 hours and 6 minutes without being sped up.
How are these other two 7 and 8 hours?
Literally, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll have to just...
But they read so fast because, like, my copy is 236 pages.
True. We'll have to do something with that.
And this is kind of off topic, but not really. This will make you very happy, Evie. We're reading for Jen and I host a book club on our friend Nicole's channel who picked this book. And we are reading this.
It's basically my channel at this point, I feel like.
Yeah, like that's why I said like our channel. I don't know what like
it's fine.
I don't know. But we're reading The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. That's the 20th. Right?
Next week, yeah, the 20th. Then.
Yeah, 20th. And that is at
6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30
p.m. my time.
Super sorry about you guys on the East Coast. I got to get my workout in, friends. I might try to see if Nicole's okay with me pushing it beforehand because if I do it right after, that means that I eat so late.
That's what I don't like that you don't eat and it bothers me.
But at the same time, then I also think about it. I'm just like, oh, is it going to make it harder for people to show up? Which is why I felt bad being like, can we do this before my live? But also, this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Daylight outside. It would just put us on like a time crunch that I have to be gone by a certain point.
That's fine. So. And if we run over, we can just discuss it the next one too. Like if there's still stuff we want to discuss.
Maybe what we start doing is those tackling the TBR ones, pushing those into the afternoon versus the
We can do that. I'm fine with that.
Because those are
as long as it stays on Wednesday, that's perfectly fine for me.
Okay. We might mix that up. It won't be able to start until May because I already put everything in the works for April.
Well, some of it's still TBD, so we can move it up if necessary.
True. Well, I mean, that I posted the April on
March
1st, so. But yeah, everything in May forward. Suckers.
I know.
We'll just have to tell everyone next week. Be like, hey,
life is lifing, and we need to move stuff up.
It would just be so much easier.
Yeah, it would. I hate we get in good conversations, and I never want to cut you off when we're having good conversations. But I know you're starving, so I don't want to be that person either.
That I have to go to the bathroom because I drank so much water. Because you come back from a workout, you got to drink some water.
That's the worst part. Like we'll have an hour-long discussion, and I'm like, I have to pee like a racehorse.
I know at some point we could be like, hey, we're going to take a 5-minute pee break.
We're going to take an intermission right now.
Oh, good. I have to do that.
I don't know why I didn't find Evie's channel earlier because we read so much stuff and we love all the same stuff.
Nice.
The only thing that I didn't love, which I know Evie loves, is I tried to read The Assassin's Apprentice and I bounced off of it. I would like to try to reread it. I don't know if it's because I picked up the audiobook or what. It could have just been my brain space I was in at the time.
That's also true. You read a book at the wrong time, you can have a wildly different opinion on something.
I don't know why, but like her books are so long, and I love long books. Like, I'm in the middle of Dragonbone Chair right now. That's 930 pages. But it reads so fast. It doesn't feel like
What book is
930
not
pages.
reading fast? And I'm really kind of peeved about this.
Which one?
Well, I have been in this book since January. Granted,
Oh,
it
that's
was a
so
book
crazy.
club book for in real life book club, and then
Mhm.
things happened and we had to push it, and then everyone else had read it and discussed it without me. So I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
it happens.
stop listening to that 3 speed, go back and like read it. And maybe it's because I'm like, I already had read this part and I'm just waiting to get to the part to catch back up because at 3 speed, you miss some things, let me just tell you.
Yeah.
But I feel like nothing is happening. And
Who
I'm
wrote
just
that
like,
book?
I need more. Do what?
Who wrote that?
Jennifer L. Armentrout. The cover that you're probably more familiar with is this one, and it's blue.
Okay, that's why. Okay, I'm like, I prefer the other cover though. The one
Yeah.
you were putting up. I prefer that one.
So again, this is part of my thing where I'm trying to read my special edition books. So Epic, if you're still with us, like you don't know until you buy it. I buy them and I need to read them. So
Yeah.
that was one of the things where I was like, I was really excited about that. So I'm going to read it while I'm still excited. But at the same time, I'm just like, I'm getting less excited now. I more want to do my diamond painting, and that's why. So I
Yeah.
need to do more audiobooks. So I'm trying to find some of these that I got as a special edition, as an audiobook,
Yeah.
listen, and then do my thing. Because I can actually, I've given myself up to 2 speed if I'm
It depends on
audio
the narrator for me.
true, but I'll allow myself to go up that high if I'm diamond painting and diamond painting only, because basically at that point,
You don't
all
have to.
I'm doing is paying attention to the book and then just
Yeah.
placing things. So it's not like I'm distracted where I'm doing chores or something because I can't do that in 2 speed. I'll never remember or drive.
Yeah.
God forbid I have to turn it down to see better. That's just a thing, okay? It literally it's a
We're
thing.
getting old, and it bothers me.
Yeah, agreed. Same. I'm
My
right in that
birthday
boat.
is in less than a week, and I'm not okay.
I know, 6 days.
I'm just
I'm
like,
gonna be
I'm
honest
not
with you.
ready
Half
to
the
say
cousins
I'm
celebrate.
34. Like, it's weird. But it's the part of like, I don't feel 34, so saying I'm almost 34 sounds insane to me. Like,
I'm gonna be
completely.
35 this year. I do not feel like I'm 35. I feel like I'm
You're
25.
wait, you're old.
My
You're older
body
than
feels
me?
yeah, not by
I thought
much,
we were the
but
same age.
I mean, technically next week we will be. I turned 35 in August, so we're a little ways
Yeah,
away.
true. We
Um,
do need to plan like a trip though, because like we need to meet in person.
that'd be awesome.
We need
Yeah.
to make this work.
With my new job, still the same company but different position, it will make it a little bit easier to travel. Um,
Yay!
so yeah, whether that'll happen or not, we'll see. But yeah, because I've
We'll
got a
make it
couple
happen.
big trips planned this year, so just money wise might have to
Yeah.
be one more year.
Well, you
Um,
honestly, I have an extra room, so you don't have to worry about paying to stay somewhere if you come down here.
true. I'd have to be able to work there though. So do you have a
Oh,
desk?
yeah, you're fine. I just upped my internet plan because Greg
Ah,
works from home.
nice.
Like because Greg's moving and Greg works from home. So
True.
yeah.
Yeah, but I also would wanna take a couple days off too so that we could hang out and go to all the bookstores that you're always telling me about. Oh,
That it's kind of weird, but it makes me feel better that I'm not like the only older person on booktube because
let me
like
just
when
tell
I
you,
hear these like 25-year-olds 26-year-olds talking about like it, I'm just like, you're still a baby.
they're reading crap books. Honestly, I'm gonna
They're
be
reading
real though with
Colleen
you.
Hoover.
Crap books to me are books where they're basically in high school and college. I can't read those books. Like, I'll never get
I
rid of
can't
my
read those
Twilight.
bully
I know that
romances
people
either. Like
yeah,
as
they're
someone
just
who was bullied
dumb.
in school, no. It's not cute. It's not.
Yeah, no.
And that's the other trigger warning. I don't want to like upset anyone, but the other thing that like people are trying to make cute and sexy isn't to me is not when like the guy's stalking the girl, and I'm just like, no, let's not.
If you're
As
pining for
someone
her
who
because
dealt
you're
with
in
that,
love with
let's
her,
not go there.
maybe, but yeah, no, stalking, that's not a no.
But it makes me
It's
feel
a
better because I literally I just feel like I'm an old lady. Or I don't feel like I'm an old lady, but it's that thing of like I was like 13 when my parents were my age. It's bonkers to me. I'm like, that's nuts. Like I know my parents had me young, but geez. Like my parents had a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old at my age.
Uh,
I'm like, that's insane.
I think about that too sometimes, and I'm just like, I'm way behind the times.
Me too. Like, hey, I'm still renting. Like, I'm not buying a house right now.
It's way too expensive.
Like a house right down the street from me went for 315,000,
It's ridiculous.
and it's smaller square footage than where I live now.
I have a house, I mean, they just did a little bit of remodeling. Why they did it when they're gonna sell, I mean, it wasn't even that they needed to flip it. There was a fire, so they had already upgraded it. Um,
But
I
we were discussing Northanger Abbey at some point in mid-April, Evie, if you want to join. I'll send you the actual date when we pick one, if you would like
Yeah.
to join.
If you're okay with
Have
an
a great rest
afternoon, then I can tell you probably what date it's gonna be now. As long as it works for you, but,
Yeah.
yeah, Wednesdays right now are still the best day for me. Yeah, prices are crazy, but this house, so there's a huge fire
Prices
after
are
last year.
nuts.
They finally did it. It is trying to sell for $650,000. I was like,
No one can afford that.
"No, that's dumb." Unless if you
Like,
have
and it's just,
acreage and are a millionaire, no. But because we live next to California and everyone's leaving California, things are
well,
just
that's what's happening here. Is prices are going up here because a lot of people moved down here during the pandemic because it was cheaper to live, and now people are noticing that and hiking everything up.
yeah, it's dumb.
It's
It's real
annoying. No.
dumb. One day we'll all be able to afford things, but today is
Yeah.
not that day and tomorrow's not looking good either.
Did, did you ever get that thing with the house you were renting out figured out that we
Mm.
were talking about? Because I know when we were getting ready for the live with PL, you were like, "This is a mess." I'm like, "What?"
Oh, we gotta figure out a day for that too. Let's make
Yeah,
that towards the end of April then.
yeah. I think the end of April, beginning of May.
May. That would work.
Yeah,
PS, most of July I'll be off, so
you'll be off.
yeah, like, we might go on a hiatus.
Oh, that kind of off.
You
I was
can
like,
do
no.
all you
I'm
want.
like, aren't you on vacation? That's why my brain was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I will be on an extended vacation.
Oh, I'm jealous. Oh my God.
Yes, and
What?
that's why there are certain issues which
Mhm.
I just don't like to read because you can't make light of them and you can't escape the reality of it, so
I
yeah.
know.
But
And I'm
April
buddy reading that 900 and something page book, or my copy's at least 900 and something pages with Epic. And he's so much further than I am right now.
But yeah, what do you have going on April 17th, Alicia? Let's just plan it now.
April 17th?
It's in between our other 2 lives, I think?
I might be out of town, but
Okay.
I can bring my laptop.
No, this is your channel. You say, "No, Jen, I'm out of town. We're gonna do it a different day." And
Well,
I'll be like, "Okay, that's
I'll
fine."
be in Nashville for a long weekend visiting friends.
Oh, fun.
But we can plan something. I can see exactly when we're leaving because I know we're gonna do. That's the day we're traveling to Nashville.
Okay.
The 17th, I
The
think,
17th. Okay.
and
Well,
then our first day there will be the 18th.
the 18th. Okay. Well, maybe even that weekend before, if that's too much, if you're doing an
We're
extended weekend, the
doing
weekend after wouldn't work.
Northanger Abbey.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
just I know that we had talked about mid-April, but we didn't really have a date. So you let me know once you have that figured out, and I'll
Yeah,
find a price on my
I'll let you
calendar.
know. Probably this weekend at the latest
Sure.
because
And
I
then let
find
me know if you want it evening or afternoon. So,
yeah, it depends on if we get stuck in traffic because it's a 4-hour drive. So I would probably do evening for that one.
and that's fine. If you're doing a Wednesday, it would have to be after 6:30 my time. If
The
you're
9:30.
doing a different day during the week, though, it would just have to be after 6 PM because then I'll be able to eat right after I get off of work, and then I can be
Okay.
here, which is 9 o'clock your time, so not great, but also
We can make it work.
An option?
Hey, we make it work. And if necessary, we can do a Saturday night. I don't know, like, has your schedule changed, or is it your same schedule?
I get to keep my same schedule, so that's
Okay.
nice. So yeah, I mean, we could do a weekend as well. If we end up doing a weekend, the one thing I would recommend would be we could do it in the afternoon. Sorry,
Yeah.
not that recommend,
I
but like
prefer if it's on the weekend. I prefer if it's in the afternoon.
afternoon. Then yeah, we could do something like that. I just, for
Okay.
me, I have a workout class on Saturday that would have me
Nice.
tied up until 11, so that would be 2 your time. Still afternoon
So
though.
like 3:30 ish.
Yeah,
My
3 would
my
be
time. Something like 3:30
mm,
ish 4. If your class is at
oh, then yeah, because that would be noon my time. That would be
yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But thank you for everybody in the chat. Thank you for everybody watching after and watching the replay. And if you want to give me your ranking of how your favorite author, you can put that in the comment section down below. Thank you to my co-host Jen. It always comes the opposite way, so I'm
I
just like
know, it's all yeah. I always
and
get it wrong.
yeah. And let me put this up there before I forget.
Yeah.
One other thing. And you will see our faces next Wednesday on the Who Picked This Book channel to discuss The Last Howl of the Flower Bride by Rashani Chakshi.
I need to start that.
It's really good. I kind of don't want to put it down, but I don't want to rush through it either.
True.
That's why I'm
True.
just like, it's still a week from now, but I want to read it.
You don't wanna read it too fast because then you're gonna forget everything, if you're anything like
Exactly.
me.
My problem. But thank you again, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you have any questions, concerns, or if anybody wants to join the live when we do discuss Northanger Abbey or any other Jane Austen, just message me either on Instagram or in the comment section. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye. Oh, we got a last question.
By the way, I'm hoping.
When are we?
Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. I need coffee. I want to shoot for like end of April, beginning of May,
I
if
should
that
be able to
works
do
for you.
that.
Of course, because of course you're invited because you came to the last one.
You got so many good things. You make up for the fact that I was just like, fantasy's not me, but
But I also think this one will be better for us because there's romance in this one.
romance is what gets me.
I know. Just let me know when it's good for you. Because I know it most likely will be like a Saturday, probably like a Friday or a Saturday night at 8 p.m. my time.
Yeah.
So because I know PL is on vacation for like the first 2 weeks of April.
Okay. Then yeah, we'll have to find out from him and
So
then
we're
we'll work
shooting for like the end of April. I actually have to email him. So, but I'm shooting for like the beginning of May just to give us time because I know it's like 100 pages longer than the other two.
Okay then. I'll get started on that now.
When is good for you, Epic? Let me know. I don't want to miss a comment.
Oh, we can also always plan it and then we'll just announce it the next time.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Just message me either on Discord. Oh, there you go.
On the next one.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And if you want a buddy read, because I genuinely think Don Quixote would totally be your jam. So if you ever get a copy of Don Quixote, I'm down to buddy read it and maybe discuss it if you want to.
Nice.
But have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming, Epic and Evie.